Good morning, Prof. How are you
Morning,
today?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, wow. I can see you're good. It seems you're in the woods somewhere. I don't know when this changed. Ooh,
I mean,
I'm loving it.
yes, change of scene, do something different. But yes, I'm
Oh,
actually somewhere in the
please.
southwest of England in a forest, enjoying
Oh,
being at one with
please.
nature. As you can see, all the trees
Yeah,
behind me.
right. Well, I can see that. Don't worry. Yes, we'll stay in the city and we'll enjoy the city. We'll hold
Well,
the
in
fort
Pink
for you.
City, one thing I can tell you is that the air here is very fresh. With all the trees.
Whatever, whatever. Guys, good morning. Please don't listen to Prof. It just has to rub that in. He has to rub it in. But that's fine. We'll indulge you today. Wait until I'm in the Maldives and I'll show you.
Until then, we'll have
I'm
to
sure
wait.
then you'll be like, oh baby, all right, let's calm down now. All right, guys, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us today. Hope you're well. It is another Sunday morning. It is SonRise show. Please do tell your friends and family we are live and join us. So Prof, welcome to the show this morning. So guys,
welcome to the show too.
Prof is my guest today. We're not co-hosting. He is my guest today. All right, Prof. Something really, 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 really great happened in the last week. Yeah, just a few days ago.
It depends on what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, well, I am talking about the elections.
Right, just a couple of days ago, really, yes.
Viewers, please, can you just drop in the comment section if you were part of the elections? Did you even vote at all? Or, in fact, let's take a step back. Did you know about the elections and did you vote? Please send in your answers.
Well, I think we should be a little bit more aspirational for our viewers and ask them, did you stand for election for any seat?
See, yes, Prof said we should be a little bit more aspirational for you guys, and we are going to be. So, Prof, talking about these elections, I've always been a what do you call it, a postal voter. Like I would normally not go to like the polling station and all of that. Just vote via post. That's very weird. Vote via post. Yes, so that's what I do. But I was thinking about elections in general, and I said, okay, for years we have been voting for years, and I'm sure you probably have been doing the same as well. But when we think of elections, what do they mean to you? Because for me as a person, what it means to me is more like, okay, this is my opportunity to get my voice to be heard. This is my opportunity to stand with someone or a party who has a manifesto that aligns with my values or my expectations or whatever they may be, right? But I don't know whether that's the same for you or it's something different. So when you think of elections, what would you say it means to you? Do you really take it to heart? Because I know some people probably don't care.
Yes, I imagine that maybe some of the people that watched, when you asked the question, did you know about the election? Some might have said, oops. Right?
Exactly.
I hope that wasn't the case because it's been on.
We hope so because we are very, very good citizens. We exercise our rights.
We're civic. We're civic representatives of our society, so we do what we need to. But I think that for me personally, I follow elections. I pay close attention, and every time I get the opportunity to vote, I do. In fact, on a couple of occasions, I remember in the past couple of years when I had to be away for business travel and so forth. In fact, on one occasion, I was in such a hurry to make sure I voted that when I landed, I got out of my taxi. I didn't even go home. I ran straight from the taxi because it was quicker for the taxi to drop me. Then ran straight from the taxi to the polling station. I got there about 5 minutes before it closed. Just to carry my laptop and everything, just so I could vote, right? And even another occasion, I had to travel, and I realized I wouldn't be able to do the same thing. And to be honest, I didn't want to do it again. It was just too much of a hassle. So I did exactly what you said you do. I got a postal vote, and I did that before I traveled, so I wouldn't miss it. So I think that, for me, it's an opportunity to be part of the change that I want to see. Right? I say regarding elections, and I think it's the same with pretty much everything else you would see anyway in life, that you have many different categories of people, right? It's like a football game or whatever sports. You have the players who are right in the arena, who are the ones who kind of got skin in the game directly, literally speaking. And then you've got the people who are supporters. So even though they are not playing,
they are providing moral support.
Exactly, they have an axe to grind. They've picked a side. They're really invested in it. And when they talk, they say we score. The fans club. And then you on the other, in addition to that, you have the watchers who they enjoy the spectacle of it. They enjoy watching it, but they are not, the spectators.
They're not participants. They're not participating at all.
Exactly. Yeah. They're not necessarily invested as much. They can be swayed, right? Yeah. So they might go to a game, they're not sure who they're supporting, and then depending on what they see on the day, they decide to support.
They start screaming.
They might even switch midway, right? They start supporting one team and then because they want a good game. And then finally, you have those who they don't even know what's going on. They are passers by. They pass. Oh, something is interesting. Something's happening. Oh, interesting, and then they just walk past, right? So, and I think when it comes to elections, we might have something quite similar as well, because I think that obviously, and that's why I said we should be more aspirational for our viewers, right? Because I want to believe that we might have people who are standing for office. I know many years ago, and I don't know whether many people know this, but there's actually somebody in church, and if we can get that person on Spotlight Minute one of these days, maybe we can get the person to say it. But there was a person in church who was a counselor, right? And this individual I'm talking of was actually quite young when they went.
Yeah.
You probably know who I'm talking of, but I'm
I do, yes. We won't call him out yet, yes.
But anyway.
Well, it's a he.
So I don't know whether we have that, and it'll be interesting. Let's ask, if you were standing for office, you did, whether you won or not, reach out to us. Maybe we can get you on Spotlight on this show. Let's talk about that. But we've had people like that, and I think it's something we should aspire to do, right? If it's something we feel called to, that if we want to make a change, and we've got the calling and the skill set to do it, why not, right? Let's get out.
So, I like that you say that, but if we're being real in terms of, our community and the way people see these elections when it's time to vote, be it based on experiences from back home and all of that, you kind of feel like people can easily just say, I'm not going to bother myself. They know what they're doing already. Let the people that really want to get involved in this. Or they say that it's only people who have, maybe they have plans of getting into politics in the future, that are so vested into elections and making sure they vote and do all that, or do whatever it is that they need to do. But not necessarily saying that I, as a citizen, I need to exercise my civic duty, right, by voting. So I said, if some people, well, for me, I'll say that for years, if it wasn't like the national election, I wouldn't know anything about it. I mean, I would have received the letter.
Election, you mean parliamentary elections? Parliamentary elections,
yes. I would have received like maybe the postal vote, as I said. I'll fill it in and just do, I'm going to vote this party this time. Not that I was never interested in what their manifesto says, or who the people, and they will write to you, they will give you all these things, but never read them until later on. Then I realized, if you really want to be a part of a change that you want to see, like you said, you truly have to take this seriously. So now, Prof, it takes me to the next question of, what do you think drives our choices in terms of the people or the parties that we vote for?
I think, even and intimately linked to the question you've asked is perhaps the whole idea of what we do when we go through elections, right? Because you talked about a group of people who may not consider elections perhaps for those who are interested in becoming politicians and things like that. I think that's an unfortunate way to look at it, because it's really missing an opportunity to make a change, to be part of any change you want to see. And when we say elections, I think we often think elections are limited to the sphere of politics. And if you speak to someone who's a political scientist, if you like, they will say to you, well, you see politics in everything we do. You might call it politics, and we talk about governance only with politics. But if politics is the process of choosing where you invest your power or power structures, then that happens every time in our lives, right? When you're in a relationship with somebody, you're doing all of those things. But even beyond that, I want to say that the process of exercising our right to choose, because that's what we do through elections. Elections are just a structured vehicle through which we do that. We do that every time, right? You go to a restaurant and you don't like the service you got there or the food. You exercise your right to choose. You vote, as they say, with your wallet or with your feet. You don't go there again, right?
That's
in a
true.
relationship, business or otherwise relationship, you don't like what you're experiencing there. You vote with you vote. In fact, in some cases, you vote with your vote, right? Because you have your election of the board of directors, right? Yeah. So if you belong to any banking society or something like that, you'll be invited to come to the annual general meetings where you vote, right? It's not the kind of elections we're talking of, but it's exercising choice. So we exercise choice in every kind of area of our lives. You go to a church, right? And something happens with the church and you're not happy with it. People tend to vote with their feet. They just stop going, right?
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's that exercise of choice. And so the question you've asked, so what drives the choice that people make? And I think I'll put it out to the people that are watching and listening and say to them, when you think of other areas of your life, when you exercise choice, typically it's very clear to you why you're choosing to do what you do, right? Given the examples I've just given, somebody who decides to end a relationship, so they've exercised their choice with their feet and with everything else and walked away, right? Unless of course, I don't know, you typically know why you're making that choice. For whatever good or bad, you know exactly why you're making that choice. When you go to a restaurant and you don't like the service and you complain about it, your complaints might be unjustified, but at least you know exactly what you're complaining about.
That's right. Yeah.
And the same thing, for people who've left the church, they would typically give you a reason why they voted and exercised their choice. Again, it might not always necessarily be a bad thing, it might not be a thing of good or bad, it might be for other reasons, but they've exercised that choice. So why should it be different when it comes to elections, where we actually put people, where we give them authority? Because that's what happens, right? You put someone in a position and you give the person authority to act on your behalf, to make choices, to represent you in wherever, the local council, or to run the government, so that whatever it is they do, you signed up to it and said, you've got my backing to execute this vision that you have shared, right? And so the question you would ask, or what you would say to yourself, at the very least, you want to understand the vision of the person who you're giving authority to act on your behalf. Does that vision align with what you actually see for the city, if you were voting the London mayoral elections, or indeed any of the other cities that were doing mayoral elections? Or does that fit with your vision for your council, your local council? Remember last time we were talking of neighbors, right? How we translate our the networks we have and our heaven, if you like, our virtual communities, our virtual relationships. How we say that if we are not invested enough in the development of our local councils, we would never even know. We don't even know the concept. We don't even know what concerns the people around us. Right? Whether it's being collection, or antisocial behavior, whether it's addition, the charge for going into London or crossing, these things, if we really are going to be relevant to our neighborhoods, we need to know what people think about, right? If you plug into where your neighborhood communities or kind of WhatsApp groups and so forth, where they're having those conversations, you see what people are concerned about. You don't want to be so completely, disconnected from what's going on, that everybody's talking one thing and talking about the other thing. And just before you plug in, sorry, I just wanted to say one more thing. A couple of days ago, I actually had a counselor knock on my door, right? Well, before the election, a couple of days before the election, knock on my door to ask me this. The person said, and she said to me, "What are you looking for?" from this election. And I had a conversation with that, right? But it made me think, though, actually need to think about it, because at this point of our lives, it shouldn't really just be about, let's just go in and just tick any boxes.
Tick the boxes, yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to say that, from all that you've said, it is very obvious. We have to see that it is important for us to plug into what is happening around us. So if you pick the mayor of London, for instance, right? You need to know exactly what are the visions that this guy is laid out for this city that I'm part of. So even as a church, for instance, we should be interested in, because our church is in London, right? So we need to know exactly what are the policies that are being, let's say, explored for London that might have impact on us as a church, or that might have impact on our members, or that might have impact on our community. And it's just seeing how we can ensure that we plug into it. Because you can't say, I think for years, and I'm guilty of this, for years, I was just ticking the box. I mean, there was a time, I guess, when I just came to this country, everyone would say, this party favors immigrants a lot more and everything. So I was not interested in what any other party was doing. It was just that party. So as soon as it was time to vote, straight up, I didn't even need to know their names. I didn't need to know who they were. I didn't need to know what their manifesto says. All I needed to know was, this is the party that favors immigrants. And you can imagine a lot of people who have been voting like that for years as well. So what we are saying here is that let's be a lot more responsible. Let's be a lot more interested in all of this happening around us, because they are the people, as you said, we've given them the powers to represent us. They go in there, they make up these policies that we have to adhere to, policies that we have to live by. And then we have the opportunity to influence the policies when we are voting, but then that means we have to vote right. So
can I say something more? Actually, as you were talking, something just occurred to me, and I think this is a good conversation, really, because it connects really well with what we were talking about last time. So often, many of us are, and for good reason, we focus on the big picture, right? We want to look at the the parliamentary elections. We want to see, I'm trying to talk about Boris Johnson here now, who's going to be the Prime Minister of the United States, that kind of thing. and that's good. But the issue is, what we have here exactly is a parliamentary system. You don't vote the Prime Minister in, you vote your MP.
The MP, that's right.
That's one. Now, but that's the parliamentary system. That's you talking about Samaria. Yeah. But what of your Jerusalem? If we are going to have an impact, as long as we continue to focus on the parliamentary system, yes, we might get some macro effect. But we are not going to have an impact on our local communities if we don't know, for example, that one of the things that our local community is most concerned about would be, let's say that there's been a new, for the sake of argument, that people with their dogs litter the park.
Yeah.
Right? It may seem trivial, but that's what everybody's concerned about. And then you don't know anything about it because you're busy thinking of what's happening at 10 Downing Street, right? You can't plug into your local community because you don't actually care about what the people care about. So I think for all of us, this is an opportunity, because when you talk about elections, that's where all these things come up. People
that's right.
in their minds, and then you see what people are debating. Then you are aware of it. And then we can really then start from Jerusalem, right?
Yeah.
We will get to the Samaria and the ends of the earth, but it's a bit of putting the cart before the horse when we're talking of all these other places when we're not and even Tottenham Park, right? There's Islington. Before you start talking of the City of London, there's Islington.
City of London. True, there's Islington, absolutely.
So anyway,
sorry, Prof. I know we've run out of time, guys. Stay with us. This is a conversation that we can't just have in one episode. We have to revisit this and try to bring a bit more into it as well. So, guys, it will be our spotlight minutes when we come back. Please don't go anywhere. See you in a few seconds. Hello, Tammy. Good morning.
Hello, Bolanle. Hello, Zuby.
Hi,
Wow. Okay, hold on. We didn't say that we're all going to wear black today. What's happening? What's going on?
The camera had 10 pounds.
I love your top, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, I think we wear the same size. So, Prof, please, you didn't hear that.
He's looking for free stuff again.
When next I see you, that's what I'm getting off for you, okay?
No problem, we'll trade.
You know what? You should be called 3B baby. 3B baby.
Can you imagine?
There is nothing wrong with speaking your mind.
But you know what? What I usually want to know when we get people on this show, I know that beyond what we just see on the screen, there is such a richness of context around every person. And Tammy, beyond what anybody might think they know about you, is there anything else you can tell us about yourself? And don't say you're married to Minister Godswill. I think we can see from your name you are.
We know that already.
That one. Let's skip that. Yeah. Something about yourself that people watching may not know.
Okay. Well, I do love to cook. So I own a business called Tobecca Pantry. And right now we deliver all over the UK.
Tobecca, you say?
Delicious. Tobecca. Yeah, Tobecca, yeah.
That's an interesting name. Where does that come from?
It's an acronym for my family.
Yeah, you just need to work it out, kind of.
Exactly. So you're gonna guess who's what.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you deliver across the UK, you said?
Yes, I do.
But you don't do free deliveries and free. I'm just getting ahead of this because I know that's the next thing Bibi's going to say.
No, I was going to say it. Even if you didn't say it, I was going to say that I'm sure you do free deliveries as well, and we can taste for you as well, and we can advertise on this show for you.
Okay, that sounds good. Free delivery for you, but delivery is not free. No, it's the next day delivery, so that comes at a price.
Yeah, that's right. That's how you do it.
Oh wow. Well, that's good. So guys, you see, honestly, we're so blessed in this house. We are so blessed. You need to check her out. I'm sure she would give us our details, how you can reach her, or if you need to reach her, just come to me. I can get people like this. They're very easy. I'll get them for you. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Unfortunately, you haven't come with food for us, but it doesn't matter. You have to win tonight, this morning, for us to be able to say that yes, we get some food from you. Okay, so make sure this spotlight minute you've joined us, you are going to win the crown. All right,
I'm going to do my best.
As at now, we only have 7 questions answered under 30 seconds. So let's see how many you will be able to answer. As I always say, if you're not sure of a question, just say pass, so Prof can read another question out to you, because time is of essence. Okay. The timer will be on your screen, but if you can't see, don't worry. I'll let you know when your time starts and when it stops as well. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
You are? Fantastic. Yeah. Prof, are you ready?
Ready.
Prof is ready. All right. So, your time starts now.
What's your favorite emoji?
Smiley face.
What's the first concert you ever attended?
Ariana Grande.
What's the one show you never ever miss an episode of?
Gilmore Girls.
The last show you binge watched?
Grey's Anatomy.
What other language can you speak other than English?
French.
What famous person would you like to be best friends with?
Angelina Jolie.
What's something you're embarrassingly bad at?
Time off.
Singing.
Singing. No, I didn't say that.
No. What 6 questions? See, for that, Tammy, I need a turkey, a jollof rice, and the Chapman as well, please. So those
turkey, jollof rice, and Chapman. Okay.
I should get the invoice afterwards. Great.
Exactly. Plus extra.
Prof will pay for that. Well, thank you so much. Wow, that was 6 questions. Wow, you tried. You did well. Well done.
Prof, you were quite slow with the questions.
Oh Lord, see?
Don't blame the questions. Don't blame the messenger. It's all right.
Tammy, thank you so very much. Thank you for joining us this morning. It's been
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, we will see you soon, and our love to the family. See you in service, by the way. Okay. All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Oh wow, Tammy, thank you for joining us. That was good. That was a good try. You had 6.
Yeah, I think that you distracted her with all the talk about food.
Did I? Well, Tammy, I'm sure I didn't. Your food is just you know, I have to. So let's not even waste too much time on that, because I know I definitely want to have that food. But yes, thank you so much for coming. Guys, thank you for staying with us. It has been amazing. As we always say, you know, our time is just not enough. You know, it's just not enough. We just need more time. But anyway, when we keep it short like this, it's very interesting. I look forward to next time. So yes, it is that time for service. And Prof, as always, please take us into service.
Thank you, Bibi. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I'm sure, just as we are, you're looking forward to what's coming up next. And we all know, well, for anybody who's watching this for the first time, we're going to meet a special group of people. They are Hill City Choir and Pastor Tammy, and as well as all the other people who are going to be live at the Rock Tower, bringing us this morning the greatest and the latest news from the throne room, the church service coming up next. Don't go anywhere. God bless you.
God bless you guys.